You know that feeling, right? You're at a party, or maybe in a meeting at work. You say something clever, something you think people want to hear, and they laugh, they nod, they clap you on the back and say, "That was brilliant. You're so sharp," and you smile, you say thank you. But inside, there's this strange, hollow echo. The praise doesn't land. It feels like a package delivered to the wrong address, and you just signed for it out of politeness. You're standing there, holding this compliment meant for a character you just played, and you've never felt more alone. It's one of the strangest paradoxes of being human. We spend so much of our lives learning the lines, choosing the right costume, and rehearsing the performance, all for this prize called approval. We twist ourselves into shapes we think are more acceptable, more lovable, more impressive. We sand down our sharp edges. We quiet our strange opinions. We hide our vulnerable, messy truths. We do all this work, this exhausting, soul-crushing work, for a reward that, when we finally get it, feels like ash in our mouths. Why? Why is this habit so deeply wired into us, if the prize itself is worthless? If getting the like, or the promotion, or the praise for being someone, we're not just deepens the feeling of being misunderstood. It doesn't make logical sense. We're chasing a ghost, and we know it, yet we keep running. We scroll through photos of ourselves, carefully angled and filtered, and we see the positive comments, but the person in the photo feels like a distant cousin we barely know. We go on a date and present the most charming, witty and agreeable version of ourselves. And when they ask for a second date, a small part of us panics, thinking, "Oh no, now I have to do that all over again." The performance was a success, but the performer is trapped. This isn't a personal failing. It's not a flaw in your character. It's about understanding the architecture of reality itself, the way things are actually connected. Think of it like this: your true, authentic self, with all its quirks and shadows and brilliant light, has a specific resonance. It vibrates at a certain, unique note. It's your note in the grand symphony of existence. When you're truly being you, you broadcast this note effortlessly. It's the sound of your presence. Now, when you perform for approval, you are consciously trying to play a different note. A note you think the audience wants to hear. Maybe it's a more popular note, a safer note, a louder note. But it isn't your note. And here's the crucial part. The universe doesn't hear the note you're trying to play. It feels the dissonance, the friction between the note you are actually vibrating at and the note you are pretending to play. You are the source of both sounds. You are standing right at the centre of that discordant clash, and that feeling of emptiness, of loneliness in a crowded room, of hollow victory. That is what dissonance feels like. It's reality gently telling you, there's a conflict here, the broadcast isn't clean. It's not a punishment, it's a diagnostic signal. It's like a quiet hum of static on a radio station, letting you know the signal isn't quite tuned in. We spend our lives trying to ignore the static, turning up the volume on the performance, hoping it will drown out the hum. But it never does. The mask we wear starts as a tool. We think we're in control. We put it on for the job interview, for meeting the parents, for that first intimidating social gathering. It's supposed to be temporary, a shield. But the nature of a habit is that it automates itself. Each time we get a positive reaction for the mask, we reinforce the belief that the mask is more valuable than our real face. Slowly, without a specific moment of decision, the mask starts to feel like our skin. We forget the face underneath. We go to pull it off at the end of the day, but our fingers can't find the edge. And this is where the deep exhaustion sets in. The constant low-level effort of maintaining a fabrication. Think of the energy it takes. Remembering which opinions you're supposed to have, with which group of friends. Carefully curating your stories to present a certain image. Constantly monitoring yourself, editing yourself in real time. It's a full-time job with no salary. And the only bonus is a fleeting sense of safety that isn't even real. Because the connections you make while wearing the mask aren't connected to you. They are connected to the mask. If they love the mask, what happens when it cracks? What happens when you get too tired to hold it up? The fear of being found out becomes a constant, quiet hum beneath the surface of your life. That's the price of the ticket. A life spent looking over your shoulder, terrified of being seen for who you really are. But what if that emptiness isn't the end of the story? What if it's the beginning? What if that hollow feeling is a compass, pointing you not towards what's wrong with you, but towards what's true? It's a call to return, a homing signal from your own forgotten self, reminding you that there is a simpler, more solid way to exist, a way where you don't have to perform to earn your place, a way where your presence is enough. Because the architecture of reality isn't built on performance, it's built on truth. It rewards what is, not what pretends to be. That hollow feeling is just a space where your real self is supposed to be. And it's waiting for you to come home. By the way, our shared space of light and awareness is on its way to 100,000 people. Thank you to everyone who subscribes and brings this moment closer. So what happens when you decide to stop performing? What happens when you finally, quietly put down the mask? The first thing you'll notice is that the world around you begins to change, sometimes in ways that feel unsettling. This is the great recalibration. It's not a personal attack. It's simply how the network of reality works. Imagine you've been holding a powerful magnet, but you've wrapped it in layers and layers of cloth to disguise its shape. For years, you've been attracting things that are drawn to the cloth. Dust, lint, random bits of thread. But the moment you start unwrapping it, the magnet's true field begins to emerge. Suddenly the dust and lint are no longer held in place. They have nothing to cling to. They just drift away. Friends who were only connected to the performance, to the character you played, will seem to lose interest. Conversations will feel strained. The jokes that used to land now fall flat. A job that required you to be a certain kind of person will suddenly feel like a prison you can no longer tolerate. This can feel like loss. It can feel like you're doing something wrong, like you're pushing everyone away. But you're not pushing anything away. You're simply revealing your true magnetic field. And things that are not aligned with it can no longer stick. The connection wasn't to you, it was to the costume. And now the costume is on the floor. This process creates space. At first it might feel like an unnerving, empty space. But it's a clean space. It's fertile ground. And into this space, new things will begin to arrive. People, opportunities, and ideas that resonate with your actual, authentic self. You won't have to chase them. They will simply appear, drawn to the clear, steady signal you are now sending out. A chance conversation with a stranger who shares a niche passion you'd kept hidden, an unexpected job offer that aligns with what you actually value, not what you thought you should want. These aren't random coincidences. This is the network of reality reorganizing itself around your true shape. It's a natural law, as simple and as profound as gravity. What is real is drawn to what is real. And here is where you discover the biggest shift of all, the move from performance to presence. The sheer amount of energy you get back is staggering. Think about it. All the power you were using to monitor yourself, to edit your words, to maintain the mask, to worry about what others were thinking. That energy is now yours. It comes flooding back into your life. At first you might not know what to do with it, but then you'll start to notice little things. You have the energy to actually taste your morning coffee instead of just drinking it while worrying about the day. You have the bandwidth to listen, truly listen, to a friend without planning your response. You can sit in silence and it feels peaceful, not awkward. This isn't about becoming a new, more energetic person. It's about ceasing to be the exhausted actor. You're no longer running a dozen complex background programs that drain your battery. You're just running. You are present. And this presence is the most powerful and attractive force you possess. People feel it. They might not be able to name it, but they feel the coherence, solidity of someone who is fully occupying their own space. There's no static, no dissonance. There's just you. And that is deeply reassuring to be around. This is where you learn the true value of connection. While you were performing, you might have had 100 connections, but they were 100 threads tied to a puppet. Now you might only have a few, but they are anchors tied to your soul. A single connection built on truth provides more nourishment, more stability, and more real joy than 1,000 connections built on a lie. It is the profound difference between a real meal and a picture of food. You can scroll through 1,000 beautiful pictures of feasts, and you will still starve. But one simple, real piece of bread will give you life. That one friend who you can call after you've failed, who sees your messy truth and doesn't flinch, that is a real meal. That partner who loves you on your bad days, not just in your curated highlight reel, that is a real meal. That sense of belonging you feel when you do work that truly matters to you, even if no one else understands it, that is a real meal. Your authenticity is the only thing that allows you to experience real nourishment. The approval of others based on a performance is just a picture of food. It looks good, but it will always leave you hungry. So the choice becomes incredibly simple. Not easy, but simple. You can spend your life collecting pictures, arranging them beautifully, and starving to death in a gallery of your own making. Or you can have the courage to be seen for who you are, to let the old world fall away, and to sit down to a simple, honest meal. It all starts with a quiet recognition that your real shape, the one you've been hiding, isn't a liability to be managed. It is your greatest gift. It's the only real thing you have to offer, and it's the only thing the world is truly hungry for. If this video changed something in you, write in the comments, "My true shape is enough." Write it as your promise. Nobody